Today is Wednesday, January 27th, 2016, 1:14 a.m. I want to do a little video about white privilege in America. The reason I want to talk about this topic is because of the news out of Oregon. Ammon Bundy and his band of merry idiots held up a wildlife refugee. Apparently, they were heading into town to go to some stupid meeting or something. Were pulled over at a traffic stop and a shootout occurred. One of those idiots died. Oh well. And some others were arrested. Now, the reason I like to bring up white privilege is because if those idiots hadn't been white and right wing, those are the right wing is important. You gotta be white. That's the primary thing. Now, beyond that, you gotta be right wing. So those idiots who are right and right wing, try to say that 10 times in a row. The government let them stay there for 24, 26 days? Just hold up, receiving mail, receiving food, care packages, a bag of dildos. And it's ridiculous. And if anybody wants to sit there and think that if those men had been black or Hispanic or anything, or even white liberals, to be honest, that if the government wouldn't have came in there and shot their asses to hell within 2 hours of this event occurring, then you have your head up your ass, which honestly, collectively, and this is going to be very offensive, but to be completely honest, white America has its collective head up its ass when it comes to white privilege in this country. Because they're the beneficiaries of it, they don't see it. And I bet, if there are any people listening to this video and they happen to be white, their blood's probably boiling right now. I don't have white privilege. Where's my white privilege check? I don't have white privilege. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You definitely do. And the biggest benefit to being white in America is you get to be invisible. In a crowd, you don't stand out. You don't stand out to law enforcement. You don't stand out to bankers when you go to get a loan. You don't stand out. You're not that other. That is the biggest benefit to being white in America is you have the ability to be invisible. Plus, you are the beneficiary of historic gains. That you were allowed to participate in the economic prosperity of America that others were shut out of. But that's slowly changing. I firmly believe the election of Barack Obama is the beginning of the end of that here in America. The demographics are changing. 30 years from now, America will no longer be a majority white country. That's going to be interesting. One of two things is going to happen. It's going to be a huge backlash. We're going to have extreme problems. Or we'll just accept it and become a more multiracial society similar to Brazil. It can go either way right now, really. We have a crazy part of our population. It's hard to describe, but part of our population is very insane. They are willing to kill people for small differences. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, yeah, one of two things are going to happen in 30 or 40 years whenever the tipping scale happens. Most likely it will go the Brazil route. I mean, I can't see America really going into I don't know. I mean, look at Donald Trump. I was about to say, I don't really see America going the way of like Nazi Germany or going back to segregation, but people are crazy. And what's happened is this country was built on a legacy of white racial supremacy and white racial dominance. And when people lose that privilege, when they lose that birthright, they feel discriminated against. I mean, in reality, that's not discrimination. It's not discrimination to have an advantage over someone just because of, you know, you happen to be born into this family, or this human race or whatever. That's not discrimination if everybody starts off on a level playing field. But if you have always throughout history have had an advantage, and you suddenly lose that advantage, you go back to where everyone else is, or everyone else rises up to the level that you are, and you have to compete fairly, then they see that as discrimination. And it's not anything, it's not a flaw with white people. It's not because they're bad or they're evil, they're inherently bad. No, no, no. They're human. We're all human. It's just human nature. Unfortunately, this thing happens in Japan. There's a minority group called I think, I'm going to mispronounce this, but I think it's called the Ainu or something like that. They're not the same as the Yamato Japanese, which is, the Yamato is the ethnic Japanese you see movies and stuff. They're Japanese people. That's the main. Those are Japanese people. They're called Yamato. That's their ethnic group. The Ainu are unfortunately very much discriminated against for the same reason. They are a minority that stands out. It's human nature where the majority, oppresses the minority. The majority sees the minority as a scapegoat for a lot of its problems. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, if the situation was reversed, if blacks were the majority, would we be the same way to whites? There would be discrimination, to be honest, yes. Like I said, we're all humans, and there would be discrimination. Would it have the same history, like slavery, segregation? Would it come to that extent? I don't know. I'm not saying I don't know, because honestly, the biggest thing about slavery was money. Money, the love of money was based on that. But I just don't know. But would there be discrimination? Yes, there would be, because that's human nature. But we have to overcome that. We can't just sit there and say, well, that's how it is. We're just going to be that way. No. We were given minds. We were given minds by God so we can reason and think. You need to overcome that. And really, yeah, I really shouldn't say so much as, well, yes, we do need to overcome that. And it's not hard. It's really not hard to treat another person the way you would want to be treated. And it's not even that most of white America is consciously racist, because they're not. What it is that we live in a society that promotes unconscious biases. In the media, you always see on the TV, the local news, well, who's doing all the shootings and stuff? Black people. It's overemphasized. They say, well, black people are committing all the crimes. Well, when the police are in the neighborhoods, they're going to find the crimes. So it's kind of a catch-20. It's chicken and egg thing going on there. The police are looking for it. They find it. But because they find it because there's so much crime, because that's where they're looking. Let's say the police, I don't know, look throughout the suburbs. They're rolling through every few moments looking for crime, looking hard for crime. And crime statistics become a little bit more swayed. Now, most of what you see in the inner city has nothing to do with race. I'm dead serious. It has nothing to do with race. And what I mean by that, it's not because they're minorities that they act that way. There's so much violence. It's economics. It is the economics. And I tell you, I mean, Russia, predominantly white country, has a higher murder rate than the United States. It's economics, patterns of behavior across the world. But that's enough for right now. I'm probably pissed off 90% of the viewing audience. Plus, I'm not very coherent right now. I'm quite intoxicated. I had a little bit too much, but said, I don't have to work tomorrow, so might as well pop it, a few bottles, whatever. But, yeah, I guess I'll do another one of these black screen videos in maybe a day or two. Who knows? But, thanks for watching or listening. Well, you can't really watch a fucking black. Thanks for listening. If you are offended, I honestly don't care, because it's the truth. But hopefully some of you, may think about, like, hey, you know, it doesn't mean you're a racist. I'm not. I kind of want to stress that. I mean, that kind of bothers me because so many times I think what happens is when, people, blacks or other minorities say that this is a racist country, a lot of white people take that as, well, that's a personal, well, you're calling me racist, you're calling my family racist. No, 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 no. That's not what that means. That means that this society as a whole, like I said, a collective, unconscious biases, it all comes together to formulate itself in this racist society that we live in. And I'm really done right now. So cool.